Hello everyone and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Many of you already noticed that I just have provided a market analysis in Spanish, and of course, as usual, I'm going to provide for this week from Monday to Friday the English version as well. So I'm going to unpost the billing on Substack just to make it clear and to be transparent. Well, this weekend was very quiet, but yesterday I have noticed the first, well, I would say bearish signs, and I have mentioned different times in my tweets to be careful because it wasn't really looking bullish. Many were just claiming that the community flipped to extremely bearish. I don't know if I'm just following in the wrong guys. Maybe these guys are just, I don't know, too bullish or something, but I couldn't confirm that. Of course, we have a very splitted community at the moment. We have, I would say, almost 50% is bullish and the other 50% is bearish. But I wouldn't say that the whole community was bearish. I really wouldn't say that. However, I mean, maybe we make today 19 or 20 and that's it, and we go up afterwards. We need to analyze the market every day. And the market is very dynamic. And I've mentioned also in my Spanish analysis that even the chart was looking. I mean, I'm not a TA expert like Roman and other analysts out there. I'm just pure metrics. I use options for a trend, maybe to confirm a little bit some data, but it's also not driving or guiding my trade strategy, for example, or TA, just to identify my entries and my exits, and that's it. But in my opinion, metrics short term is always telling you what's happening. And the big problem of the last few days were they stopped using centralized exchanges. But I noticed that they keep reducing their balances, in particular their market maker entities, with a rising fund flow related to network activity, while the centralized exchanges just declined, indicating potential OTC activity. So it didn't surprise me when we lifted up to 21,800 yesterday that they triggered immediately afterwards a sell pressure that weren't coming from centralized exchanges mainly, but from OTC. It seems. I mean, we can't prove that because we don't have any API to any OTC, of course, but that was looking like. Well, let us check the whole data now together. That makes sense. As you see, that's my usual setup, just to see SPY on the left, DXY. I have commented that as well in the next days. I'm expecting a rising DXY. In my opinion, we will retest 105. We will break 105. We will go even further, maybe to go to 108. That's what I called a few weeks ago, and it's still on the table in my opinion. And SPY and SPX I would expect to go down again to its, yeah, at the moment I would say to SPY 375 and to SPX something like 3,800 or maybe lower. Well, we will see, and we need some time and patience because that's a process. That's not going to happen tomorrow. Well, maybe, but I don't think so. And also with Bitcoin, that's a process. They are, in my opinion, they are still in distribution. I wouldn't say nobody is accumulating because we can detect some accumulation by certain entities. We will talk about that today as well. But for me, the market maker entities are the main market drivers, and those guys are not accumulating. I don't care if other entities are accumulating, to be honest, because these guys have insider information. These guys are the market drivers. Everything else doesn't matter. They can generate enough fear to trigger sell off on miners. They can do a lot of stuff. Well, I'm not going to make any teaser also related to options, at least when I did today my Spanish analysis. Options were looking very nice, indicating two strategies with each a half million. One was relatively bullish with expecting a limited lift up in price, and the other one was indicating what's happening, a sharp price action to the downside. And it's very interesting because that's exactly what's happening at the moment, it seems. However, it's too early, as mentioned, just to say we will go now to 16 or something. That's really a process that can take even weeks until we reach new lows. We can maintain a price level I did just yesterday. I'm expecting first of all to retest 20k, so 19,900 first, and then we will see. A nice opportunity to buy again some alts and to make a quick gain, and maybe to go long then afterwards. We really need to see what's going to happen next. As mentioned, it's a process. Patience is always key. So let us start with the Wales ratio moving 30 days moving average. Well, it's surprising me again because it's indicating it's in a rising trend to the upside, and it did. We are right now in a level that's just too big, indicating that weights are still sending bitcoins to the exchanges, to the spot exchanges, at a level of $21,000, 21,400, and that's something that's really surprising me. And I've mentioned that in the last couple of days that it looks like they are still in preparation. So usually that's, I don't know. I would say we will see a lower step somewhere. I don't know where, to be honest. Not yet. It will take a little bit, but not yet. So we will see what's going to happen, but that looks too bearish to me, really too bearish, because I wasn't expecting that. I was expect really to let the Wills ratio 30 days moving average to go down even more, as you know, or at least maintain, even if they want to maintain a trend, to go here and then, I don't know, to maintain here and go a little bit higher, or whatever, but not that much. That's 55. I mean, last year, and that was huge. We did the max was 50. And you remember the huge sell pressure we got? Well, if we take a look here, it doesn't look better, but I can show you why I think they are still in a distribution mode. Let me zoom in because then it's more clear. Every time that happens, whales stop sending bitcoins or at least reduce their transactions to spot exchanges. If we take a look what kind of impact that have, you will see that. Down, up. When the price went up, distribution follows. Up. down, down, up, up, down. And that's what they are doing all the time. That's, in my opinion, pure distribution what they are doing at $20,000. That's just insane because, yeah, many told I'm extremely bearish at Permabeer or whatever. I mean, I really don't care that much, but I wasn't that bearish. That looks extremely bearish. I mean, well, I can't refresh now because that's really, well, yes, I need to refresh the chart, unfortunately. But it's indicating these guys have still the whole market in their hands. They just, like here, for example, you see they went to 100 and the price still starts to dump. So they are controlling right now everything. And like it's just one person, and that's not possible. It's of course not one person. But they are hiding right now the distribution, and many were thinking they're accumulating. People, some entities, and we will talk about that, are accumulating. That's not that wrong. But, I mean, that is extremely bearish because that's what they are doing. Let the price go up to distribute. That's what they are doing. Let the price go up to distribute. I mean, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We can do that all the time. Driven by whales. That's not coincidence. It's not, it's not like they stop buying because they want to let retrace the price to accumulate more. No, that's not what they are doing. They stop selling to let the price go up again to sell afterwards. That's what they are doing. That's exactly the opposite. Of course, as mentioned, some entities, and we will take a look, retailers, the most of them, but also little whales are accumulating. Well, whales ratio 30 hours moving average. It's lifting up right now, indicating more bitcoins are coming in. At the same time, also not really bullish. Stablecoin reserves on exchanges didn't lift up really. Usually I would expect that, but I'm getting a lot of whale alerts indicating 90 millions, 85 millions outflow from Binance USDT. Those who appear later on FTX and Bitfinex, and then at the end to the Tether treasury. And then something like this happens. They burned 12 billion US dollar in Tether. Also here, we went down. We maintained that level. No big minting stablecoins anymore. So the demand is neutral. Also, not really bullish in my opinion. So let us take a look to the flows. And well, we can see here, I mean, we noticed that we received on Coinbase 5,000 bitcoins. Here there are 5,000, almost 5,700 bitcoins, and an hour later another 2,000. So we are talking about almost 8,000 bitcoins. If we take, yeah, I would say 8,000 in the last 2 hours. At the same time, we received now 300 million in stablecoin. That's of course a lot, but at the same time we had an outflow of 200 million. So we are talking about almost, yeah, as you see, I mean 300 million stablecoins here, just 4 millions here, but outflow 80 millions here and 200 million. I don't know how that works and why that correlates every time when we are detecting big outflows at the same time we are getting big inflows. I'm not sure if that's the exchange refilling their stablecoin reserves because, yeah, you know, it wouldn't wonder me if Binance is and other exchanges are buying bitcoins to prevent a very worst case for them because, well, I mean, I mentioned that in the Spanish version today. The exchanges are not making the big money with three, four whales. They make money with masses, with retailers. We are the cash cow. Whales are not the cash cow. And these guys are missing. So they generate a lot of money with fees. So quantity more than quality. If these guys are missing, well, then the cash cow is very dry, right? So they need a different way to get money. Liquidate future traders, for example. And we will take a look because in the last few days the future market even had a big loss in volume. Something that, in my opinion, that was very worst case scenario. But you need also to have in mind that exchanges has big portfolios in crypto assets. When they need some loans or credits by banks, they need some collateral. And the collateral is not just the idea, a nice business case, a concept, or whatever, but partly their assets. While these assets are losing part of their value because the price is dumping, that's becoming a double problem for them. Not only because they are getting less money because retailers are, you know, are staying away from a market that looks so bearish, but at the same time, their collateral for any loans and liquidity access is reducing in value. So you can imagine that that's a really big stress test for exchanges at the moment. And we notice that Coinbase, Gemini, and other exchanges, and even not only exchanges, I mean Celsius as well, but it's right now a big stress test for the whole industry. And even Sam was making a tweet about venture capital, much more indicating they are reducing their motivation to spend and yeah, to offer liquidity to the crypto industry just because of the recent price action. If that's the case, and we know that Sam was helping a lot of different projects to keep alive, hmm, without money, it's going to be a big challenge. Well, however, that's what we can see here, and we need to see what's going to happen next. But in my opinion, it's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. This week, we have some interesting events this week as well. Um, we have, let me check, the GDP first quarter 2022. Fed Chair Powell speaks. That's this Wednesday. Thursday, initial jobless claims. And well, ISM manufacturing PMI Friday. But for me, Wednesday is going to be a very big one, and even maybe tomorrow, they are going to release the consumer confidence data. Could be also very interesting to see if it has some effect to the whole inflation and the whole economic situation has any impact to them. So we will see what's going to happen this week, but my expectations are bearish, as you know. unfortunately, because I have nice spots. It wouldn't be that bad to let them go up even more, but everything with patience. So let us take a look to the future market next. Well, here, it's very interesting in my Spanish analysis today. I was seeing this dump in the funding rate indicating they were just demanding more shorts, and it seems some weights were here involved. But however, and that's the problem here, the whole future market, if we take a look to the flow activity, declined a lot. And that's something I don't like to see, to be honest. I really don't like to see. I really hope it was just a phenomenon just because of weekend. You know, weekend, it's very quiet sometimes. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure, and we need to see what's going to happen next because that's really low what we see here. I mean, even bitcoins to derivatives, 1,300 bitcoins, that's nothing. That's really nothing. At least we can see that the funding rate right now it's lifting up a little bit, indicating they're just demanding more longs at the moment. We can see here, and that's the aggregated. The open interest rises a lot. That was very nice. Even more here, okay, indicating they were shorting and now it's declining. It's not really clear if they are flipping to longs next, or I'm not sure at the moment, but at least that happens when they liquidate, for example, late longs and so on and so forth. And I was noticing some liquidation clusters, high leverage longs since yesterday, so I think they liquidated some. And at the same time, leverage ratio lifting up, while also here they're demanding now longs just before they demand more shorts, and even here the leverage ratio was rising, indicating they were placing high leverage futures. If we take a look now to the blockchain whispers, that was the number when I was recording the Spanish version of the analysis. So let us see how it looks like now, because it was 50-50. Yeah, yeah. Many people just, flipping to longs again. I'm not sure. I'm shorting, but I don't think I'm going to close my short because I would like to see a retest of 20, to be honest. So we will see. However, 55 to 45, it's not that big. On Ethereum, almost still 50 to 50. Well, I mean, Bitfinex, I don't care. And even here, well, 50-50, that's also here indicating, but BitMEX, it's not that big related to the volume. So Binance, it's more important to me. And now we will check the liquidation map on the Kingfisher. Let me use the spin and win. That's a huge and really lovely feature by the Kingfisher. So if you want to trace the liquidation map, you don't need to spend 1 cent. Use the spin and you can win some credits, like now 2 credits. That's nice. Thank you very much, the Kingfisher. And you have your balance here then. I have right now 29 credits. That's really nice. So let us take a look to the Binance liquidation map first. Takes a little bit as usual. And sometimes a little bit longer than usual. go. Come on, the Kingfisher. Here we go. So, it seems they liquidated the late longs high leverage I've mentioned yesterday, and now we have another cluster between 21,400 and 21,600. Sometimes, and that was a theory I mentioned today in my Spanish version, and that's of course a theory because it's very difficult to prove such kind of stuff. But I'm noticing that they are using this, high leverage positions very close to the current price. So you're just doing that if you're very sure they can't liquidate you, or you don't care if they liquidate you. So just imagine you have 5 million US dollars and you have another 500 million US dollars to buy spot. Or that's the bullish scenario now. So I go to an exchange, I spend 5 million shorting high leverage. Let me say 30. Okay, that's high leverage enough. So in that case, my liquidation level would be at 22,500 or something, and my whole liquidation volume would be 150 million instead of 5 million I have spent. Now imagine I have 500 million US dollars and I start to buy spot, and the price starts to rise, and I liquidate my shorts. What do you think would happen if I liquidate a liquidation cluster with a volume of 150 million to the future market price? What do you think would happen? Of course, it would pump up. It would push up the price. That's what it happens. So sometimes I think they are using even leverage trades to push the prices more down or up with just less money. They don't need to buy that much. Would be at least a very smart way to do that. So let us go right now to FTX and check there what's happening there. I hope you got what I mean. I mean, if you liquidate your own, the market is showing that retailers are not awake here anymore. They are not, no one, no whale is expecting to wreck a lot of retailers because, in my opinion, that's a big fight between whales and maybe even exchanges. And whales are including some institutionals, banks, insurances, hedge funds, whatever. So, Kingfisher, give me FTX, please, now. Thank you. So, well, it looks very similar to FTX, and we still have here this liquidation cluster between 21.4 and 21.8. Everything will depend a little bit, of course, of what is PY, what is DXY going to do next. If DXY starts to lift up, and in my opinion, as I mentioned in the beginning, that's going to happen, it will start to rise pressure to SPY and maybe also to SPX, because SPX doesn't react that accurate to DXY movements like SPY did or do. So we need to see if that maintains open. It wouldn't wonder me if would go up again just to 21,427. But I would like to see 20k first and then go up. We will see. Let us take a look to the options. So if we take a look here, we can see what's happening at the moment. So we declined hard. It seems that was more driven by spot, by FTX and aggregated. We need to see what was the aggregated part. So if Binance was driving this dump, but also futures, stablecoin futures, and almost no Bitcoin collateral futures. So let us take a look what they did here. That's Binance. But not that big. Well, Coinbase, I don't know. I think that's wrong here because Coinbase is always buying. Bitfinex also rising their CBD. And yeah, that's perp. So it's very clear they shot it very big. And right now they are lifting up. That would explain why the funding rate is lifting up a little bit. So um, maybe we will go up a little bit again to 20,850 or something, maintain there and go down even more. That's something we need to see. Yeah. So it's much more driven by futures at the moment, even if we sold some spot. It looks like SPX looks very accurate here, but Binance started here. That's very interesting. Let us take a look to the entities, and I have mentioned that some entities are accumulating. First of all, the market maker, or by me, by myself, just declared and labeled as market maker entities, those with 1,000 to 10,000 bitcoins, they are not accumulating yet. They even reduced over this weekend their balances. In just 2 weeks, 110,000 Bitcoin, it's a lot. It's really a lot. Um, yeah, that was, they had 5,150,000 Bitcoins June 13th, and they have now 5,040,000. And I can't see those 110,000 Bitcoins on spot exchanges, so they are using OTC. That's absolutely, we don't need to talk about that. That's for me obvious. At the same time, we have entities. I thought they have started to accumulate, but no, it was really just a quick accumulation, it seems. But these guys, if you check, first of all, their trade behavior is not the best, and they love to buy and to sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. Well, when I say buy and sell, that's wrong because it's entities and balances. They are, filling their balances, reducing their balances. The consequence is usually they are sending those bitcoins to exchanges, of course, to sell. So if we take a look, for example, to these entities, they have started to accumulate, it seems. Well, many would say, yeah, but Inspo, look, 4,270,000, these guys are also big, so big words are accumulating. The problem is the market maker reduced their balances by 110,000 bitcoins in 2 weeks. And these guys, at the same time, so that was 15th, they had here 4,250,000 bitcoins, and now 4,270,000 bitcoins, so just 20,000 bitcoins. That's a really big difference to 110,000 bitcoins. And that's why the market, it's, yeah, it's not, if the market maker would stop to sell, we would go up. But in my opinion, it's the market maker that has a goal that's more, yeah, maybe it's even a fund. It's a hedge fund, I mean, they are making bets against Tether. Maybe hedge funds are using their spots to push the price down until let Tether collapse. Why not? I mean, also possible scenario. Um, I thought that Goldman could be behind of that, but who knows? We don't have any proof. That's always just a theory. I just read the metrics, I read the data, and I can have, if I'm very creative at that day, I can have some theories, but they are useless and worthless because we don't have any proof for that. And even if we would know if it's Goldman a hedge fund or whatever, who cares? We need to trade what they are doing. Of course, if I would know that they are really doing all the stuff to let crash Tether, maybe I would trade different, but who cares? So, yeah, that's what I can provide here. So let us go to the next chapter. So, exchange walls. We can take a look. I mean, Coinbase here 18.5, nothing up, nothing, really nothing up, indicating they want to buy, but no big sell orders, indicating here, if we take a look, for example, we can see we have here an accumulated total by orders of 540 Bitcoin to 980 Bitcoin, indicating we have more buy orders than sell orders. And pushing the price up while waiting here at 20,780. So that would match very well to what I have say. We could go up a little bit more, maintain there, and then afterwards even go down again. Of course, something we need to see. Deribit. Also nothing big. We see here they are placing a lot of orders, much more than, yeah, much more sell orders than buy orders. Usually they do that, as you can see. That's partly a little bit spoofing what we see here, I think, just to push the price up again. Well, and they sold now. So Bitstamp. Let us take a look to Bitstamp. Bitstamp here waiting at 20k, exactly their range where I would expect a bounce. I think that's just a little dead cat bounce. I think we will go down even more, and finally I would expect to bounce here. But something also here we need to see, because you know that takes time. Binance Spot. Binance Spot waiting at 20k and waiting at 22k. That's what they are doing. They have here 23k, it's 23,800, but the main point it's 22 and 20, and of course we have some walls here in lower ranges as well. Bitfinex. Still very bearish, waiting at 23k with a lot of sell orders, but also here some buy orders at 20k. So yeah, also that would match very well. Also here, in my opinion, a lot of spoofing activity. FTX perp. FTX perp also waiting here at 18,300. And in my opinion, also here a lot of spoofing activity, but I'm not really sure. Sometimes, I mean, that's an exchange. They have also some clients. The interesting part here is when you see what they did. They were pushing the price up. If we go back to Coinbase, we should see exactly the same. Look. Do you see that? You will miss that here, right? Why? Because they were pushing the price up. That was the main idea. And usually they don't need to push the price up if you don't have a lack of demand, but that's the problem. Kraken. Kraken at 19,500 waiting there and at 22. So it seems they are confirming, of course, a little bit. Oh, they removed the walls here. They are confirming a little bit my bounce area, but this looks like they want to let it go down even more, like for a bear trap. We need to be careful. So here maintaining the price right now here. Then if we take a look, almost no activity, but the orders changed a lot. That looks like spoofing. BitMEX waiting here at 20k again, and a very tiny at 22. Oh no, here at 20. Yeah, 20k. So 20 and 22. That's, yeah, looks very interesting. Bitfinex derivatives, nothing, a lot of orders here, but tiny, really tiny, 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 nothing big. Kraken futures, also here nothing. FTX spot, yeah, waiting in lower ranges, but also nothing big here. I don't see any big wall. One at 21. It looks like, I'm not sure if that's a wall. And Binance Futures, and that's the biggest one. They are limiting at 23. They are limiting at 22. Yeah, 22 with almost 1,000 bitcoins and 18.8. And even here 20,200. That's what they are doing. And here big. That's really big. Wow. Well, we have more buy orders than sell orders, as you see. I mean, yeah. So also very interesting. 19. Hmm. And yeah, that's it. So let me go to the personal conclusion and we are done.